to Damon Miner.
See if I can mess this up. I've been practicing, trying to anyways, with my wife for the last few weeks, and then Kenner will chime in with me and try to get me to speak. You can tell I get nervous in front of a lot of people. I don't know. I can play in front of 50,000 people, but I get in front of other people, try to talk, I get a little nervous. So it's natural, guys. You guys did a good job, by the way. So I want to start off by what Coach Ethan talked about, handle adversity. First off, I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you to the Davis Athletic Department and the coaching staff. Thank you again for that, for having me here. Like I said, I will be my first year in San Francisco as one of the hitting coaches. I was inside. I was in Sacramento for the last 9 years. So it's a relief in a way for the new challenge to be in San Francisco. But I'll give you a little bit of a backstory of where I came from, because I see a lot of you guys as players in where I came from. Probably a little bit bigger town. I grew up in a small town of western Oklahoma with we had 18 players, 18 kids in our class, and to form our baseball team, we had to bring up a freshman to add 10 so we could at least practice and scrimmage. So I had a twin brother that also played. He was there as well. Played in the big leagues with Baltimore. We played together in college. But grew up in a small town. Our batting cage was right across the street, so we were there every day. We were playing sports, basketball. There wasn't much to do in a small town, so it was a farming community, and we were either hunting or fishing or playing sports. In the summers, we would travel, and we'd play like 82 games in the summer. So we were nonstop playing. That kind of set us up to go to the University of Oklahoma, where he mentioned that as a sophomore and junior we went to the College World Series. But that was the first time that I did find some adversity. As a freshman, I didn't play. I got 4 at-bats. And we didn't have the NIL and the transfer portal back then. But in my thought, I was like, I committed to the University of Oklahoma, and I wanted to show that I could play. So after some hard work in my sophomore year, I got the starting job. Like I said, my brother played basketball there. So when he got done playing the NCAA tournament, he came out and took my position, so I went to DH, which was fine, because it took a long time to get my feet underneath me. But we won the national title that year, went back in '95. Was drafted by the New York Mets as a junior in the 19th round, but decided to go back because I wanted to get drafted a little bit lower. And so I went back as a senior and had a good year. It worked out. I'm standing here next to you. So I ended up getting drafted in the 12th round by the Giants. Didn't have any idea. Obviously, I was kind of excited in a way because growing up in a small town when you only have 2 TV channels, with WGN to watch the Cubs or TBS to watch the Braves. And I didn't like the Braves. So I remember sitting there watching in 1989, I believe, Will Clark was one of my favorite players. And sitting there watching him hit a home run, and I think they swept the Cubs. And it was off of Maddox, because he talked about how he read his lips to hit a home run. So I was excited to be part of the Giants organization. So obviously played a lot of my years, my career in California. My first year in A-ball was in Bakersfield, California. Very interesting town. But I got to start off. I thought felt like I was having a pretty good year. And All-Star break comes up, and our hitting coordinator at the time was Bobby Bonds, Barry's dad. So, which I was fortunate enough to learn a lot from him to do what I do now. So he told me I was a pull hitter. I could hit the ball a long ways to the pull side, but I really couldn't use left field. When you grew up in a small town, not a lot of velocity there, you kind of hook the ball, in which I could do with the best of them. So he told me that if you want to be a 240 hitter, just stay a pull hitter, keep striking out. If you want to learn to be a complete hitter, hit the ball to center, you'll be about a 260 hitter. But if you want to be a real complete hitter, hit the ball to all fields, you'll be a 300 hitter. And that way, that when you do handle some adversity, you're moving up, you'll be able to handle it. Because it's going to get tougher when you get up, the higher you go. So I do remember that in batting practice to this day. I still remember batting practice. All we did was try to hit the ball the other way. So every round. So sure enough, closer came in. I think we were down a run or so. Guy was on. Guy threw me a fastball away. I hit it out to left. And I still remember that. And I was like, okay, I got this figured out. I mean, if this season, I got this figured out. I think I hit like 30 home runs that year. I was like, I got this figured out. So get promoted to AA the next year in Shreveport, Louisiana. You guys have never been to Shreveport, Louisiana? Very hot. The ball does not carry. And it rains every single day. Kind of like here, right? So I didn't get off to a good start. I was struggling. By the All-Star break, I was sent down to San Jose A-ball. Talk about adversity. You think you're making it, and then you get sent down. And at the time, I didn't understand. But over the years, I kind of talked to our farm director, and he kind of told me the reason, because you were gaining too much weight, and anyone in Shreveport that can gain weight, that's impossible. So went back to A-ball to handle the adversity. I wasn't happy, but I wanted to show I could still play. I wanted to prove myself. And it was one of the funnest seasons that I had in pro baseball, because we won the Cal League Championship that year. And a lot of those guys that I played with moved together. We started moving up, and a few of the guys, we made it to the big leagues together. Pedro Felice, Jalal Leach, that is a local here in Sacramento. I don't know if he's here.
Here. Straight back.
Okay. He was my roommate. There he is. There's my roommate. I'll be back in a minute. So went back to AA the next year. He understands how hot it is there. And we had a good year. We moved on to Fresno AAA at the time. And we both had a great year. You know, we played at the college back then, so it wasn't that new stadium there that was there. So we stayed in trailers in right field. Couldn't use the field because Fresno State wouldn't let us. So, and that's the way we didn't know any better. So had a really good year. And me and him had the fortune enough to get called up together in 2000, our first call up. And that's just something you'll never forget. I believe I ended up hitting 3 home runs and 9 at bats. So after the season, I was like, I got this. I made the team. There's no way. Made the team. But they have these things called options that you don't know about. So went back to spring training. Obviously, we had a veteran team: JT Snow, Barry Bonds, Jeff Kent. A lot of guys, older teams back then. And they had longer contracts, so when you have options, no matter how good you do, you go back down. So went back down, and that was a little bit more adversity. And I was like, okay. So ended up having another good year, get called up and down when guys got hurt. And then finally in 2002, made the team out of spring. And so that was something that I couldn't explain. You're just like, okay, I'm playing, made it to the big leagues. I was a platoon player. JT Snow obviously was the first baseman there, but I came off the bench, did a lot of things, and that was into another story. Anyone remember Rob Nin? You guys know? Great, one of the best closers. Never blew a save apparently. So he always had that cool introduction, running out, smoke on the water. You know, you thought the game's over. So the only two guys that pinch hit really was me and Sean Dunston. You guys remember Sean Dunston? Sean Dunston was a great teammate, learned a lot from him. And so Rodman comes in, hits the first guy, gives up a 2-run homer. Now we're down by 1. And usually, if there's a left-hander, and at the time, the closer coming in was Billy Wagner, which was just put into the Hall of Fame. Sean Dunston usually gets him. So I'm standing there, and Dusty Baker, and he's the pitcher's leading off, so one of us is going to pinch hit. I looked over, Sean's nowhere to be found. Nowhere. So Ron Lotus looks at me and goes, "You're hitting." I go, "Huh?" So okay, I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna get my eyes settled. I'm gonna see the first pitch. He threw it right down the middle. I'm like, okay, I got it. So Billy Wagner, short guy, ball comes out of his ear, throws about 100. And the saying with him was, if the ball stays by your ear, you're good. If it gets away from his ear, he's gonna hit you, especially being left-handed. So the next 2 pitches, his hand got away from the ear. 2 check swings, almost hit me in the neck, strike 3. So I walked back to the dugout, I don't know, I probably said a few things. It was very nice. But the next day, Dusty Baker, phenomenal manager, comes up to me and goes, "Hey, I sent you up there to tie the ball game, not to take pitches. Swing the bat." Now I understand. So, going up there is like, okay, swing the bat. So learning to pitch hit, when you're in the minor leagues, you're getting 500 at bats, a year. Up there, you're pinch hitting a lot. Pitcher was hitting at the time. So I learned that. So that learning, through that adversity, I was able to make some progress, get some pinch hits, maybe a couple home runs off the bench. So I was like, okay, that's great. So we ended up obviously going to the World Series that year. And in 2002, when we were 5 outs away, everyone remember Anaheim Angels and that dang rally monkey. So kind of got us. So moving forward, the next year I didn't make the team, went back to 3A, got traded to the Phillies. I was like, okay, fresh start. I was like, all right, getting a little older in my career, I want to be in the big leagues, fresh start. So when you're, as a baseball player, you want to look at the roster, it's like, okay, who's behind me, who's in front of me? I look behind me, Ryan Howard. Okay, young guy, don't know who he is. He's a hit 4 home runs in the big leagues, won the World Series. Look in front of me, I was like, Jim Thome, pretty good player, Hall of Famer. It's like, well, I better keep trying. So I ended up playing with them, came back to the Giants actually the following year in 04. Decided, made it to the big leagues again for a month or 2. And then I went overseas in 2005. So went over to Japan. And then I decided, that was enough baseball. So I came home, I was like, now what? Now I'm gonna really face some adversity. Now I've got a family to raise. And so I decided to go back to my to OU, became a grad assistant to finish my degree. Everyone finish your degree, no matter how old you are. Decided I finished my degree, that was later down the road, but I did a year there, and then I decided, you know what, I want to get back as a player, I want to get back as a coach. Opened up a baseball academy to get kids, to help them get seen into college, get them signed, help them out. Did that for a few years. I was ready to get back into pro baseball. Finally got an opportunity with the Miami Marlins, 5 years with them in AAA. Had a good experience over there, but I finally got the opportunity to come back with the Giants in 2016 in Sacramento. And I've been there ever since until this year going up with the Giants. Got to meet some great people. I got to meet a lot of the coaches here. Obviously your pitching coach, Mark Kenner. I forgot this story, but I actually faced him in college. He was a lot older than I. I think I was a freshman, he was a senior. So I don't remember. I'm sure he hung me something, I'd imagine. I know he's younger, huh? But the one thing being back as a coach, obviously I have the ability to help them through their experience, their challenges, help them through failure. Prime example is Heliot Ramos. Known him since he was 17, I believe, when he signed with us. He really moved through the system, I think COVID years when he finally got to the big leagues in 2020, I believe. But we sat in the office a lot. We were on the bench a lot. He didn't understand. We see that as coach, as a player, and then as a coach, you see it, what they're going through. But you got to let them go through how to handle adversity. Just like your coach said, handle adversity is one of the things that helps you grow. We don't always have success. The only guy I know that always has success is Barry Bonds. He had a little struggle every couple of bats. But what I can leave you is, guys, keep working. I see a really good group here. Guys, freshmen, sophomores, seniors, juniors, big group. Keep working. I came from a very small school, very small town. If you set your mind to it and hard work, you can do anything. Okay, guys? The main thing is challenge each other. Keep pushing each other. Upperclassmen take care of the lowerclassmen. You guys, how many of you guys are going off to college to play? Nice. I understand you guys are going to be freshmen next year. You guys are going to be a freshman again, just like freshmen, like you used to be. These guys are freshmen, sophomores. You're going to be young. Handle that adversity. Keep working. And I will say this: get in that weight room. Strength and conditioning is a big factor. Okay, guys? That is one of the number one things that really helps athletes. When I was growing up, we kind of had to lift on our own. If you don't believe it, I grew real quick, and I was about 200 pounds, clumsy, couldn't even move. And the one thing that helped me was the weight room, agility. I remember one day in Instructs, Ron Wotus, if everyone knows who he is, he's still with us, great giant, gave me a jump rope. I was like, what's this? And he was like, you need it. So it helped get my feet going, helped me get my feet under me, and just little things like that. Your coaches are here for you. They want you to succeed. If you don't, I understand that you're not going to like some of the stuff that they say, or if they challenge you, but take it. They love you. They want what's best for you. Okay? And your parents are always there. Respect your parents. And they're the ones that have helped you along this journey. And you will never forget them. They'll always be there for you. But again, thank you for having me. I appreciate everyone here. And good luck to you guys this year, all right?